What is going on, YouTube? PPS back. It is our Wednesday show. It's all NBA today. Coming at you guys for, I think it's a nine-game NBA slate. I have to check again, but back-to-back days for a lot of these teams. We got a weird slate because it was like 8 games Monday, 7 games yesterday, and I think it's like 8 or 9 today. So there's not one of those big, massive slates and then the drop-off. We get a nice slate today. Obviously, some nice totals and some good matchups. Joined as always by my guy, Stu. How we doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Like you said, it's a little bit weirder this week for sure, where you don't get that mega slate. So that means you get a couple more back-to-backs. You get a little bit more guys playing on a little lesser rest. But still plenty of good games today, like you said. A lot of good totals. Despite the fact that this slate has been a little bit weirder, even this whole week, honestly. Still tons of good games. So obviously got that to look forward to. We got the NFL playoffs, which we'll be talking about on Friday. Just tons of fun stuff in the works. I know props are already dropping over there. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited right now. It's a good time of year. Obviously, I know people are a little sad that it's, starting to end. But, we got plenty of stuff to look forward to, plenty of bets to win still this season.
Yeah, no, you obviously got the NFL playoffs. I'm obviously pumped for NBA. College basketball season is in full swing. Obviously, can't wait for my baseball to come back around. I'm excited for that as well. Going to get into a bunch of best balls again this year. So that'll be exciting. Are you doing any stuff for like fantasy-wise for the NFL playoffs?
I've been thinking about it. I keep seeing all these guides, I keep seeing all these articles, these write-ups and stuff like that. So it is pretty interesting. I guess the biggest thing that worries me is I feel like there's going to be some mega chalk in these tournaments, right? We have 2 10-point spreads. So nobody is drafting Seahawks. Nobody is drafting Anthony Brown for good reason, right? So that kind of puts, it limits the player pool a lot, right? We're going to see a lot of repetition, a lot of similar lineups. So at a certain point, you need to have a really strong stance on where you want to get different. And I just don't have that right now. I don't have like some team. Maybe you could ride the Jags as kind of one of those sleeper teams. I feel like you need to kind of pick a lane and stick with it. And I just haven't found a strong opinion there yet. So maybe as I, develop those a little bit more, then I'll get into it. But nothing so far. What about you?
Yeah, no, I've done a few. I do it differently than a lot of these guides really tell you to do, right? I mean, the guys want you to like grab all of one team and grab all of another team on the side. I mean, I guess like that would be the best way to do it, but how much realistically are you going to get that, right? I mean, unless you have Tampa take it to the final, unless you have like Baltimore take it to the final, like it's really hard to do that because I mean, I just did one this morning and it was Allen 1, Diggs is like 6, Burrow's 4, Chase is 5, right? And you only have a 6-person pool, so it's really tough because if you take like the opinions of these guys that are going, hey, Chiefs are what? I think they're like 350, 400 to win the title, the Super Bowl. And I look at it, I'm like, you still have to get through round 1. That's the toughest part is if you're doing this, you can't just grab all these Chiefs because then you're not even going to have a lineup to even make it through the first round. Like, yeah, if you make it through, congrats. Like, that is fantastic. Good for you, but my God, dude, like I only grab like 1 or 2 Chiefs max. I can only grab 1 or 2 Eagles max because you start playing Mahomes and try to run with McKinnon too. Like that's 2 out of your first 4 picks that just get you a big fat 0.
Yeah, no, and you see two guys like Isaiah McKenzie who are being so overdrafted because people want that Bills exposure so bad. Because if you get Allen, you're probably not getting Diggs, right? But you obviously want that correlation. Obviously, people love the Bills. So you're seeing these like it's weird to see like Isaiah McKenzie and like guys that are actually good in the same category, right? Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, that can actually put up crazy stat sheets versus Isaiah McKenzie. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to watch. I feel like just us talking about it right here has kind of motivated me to maybe make a couple of these lineups, enter them in at all the various places that offer them. I'm not going to give any free promo right here. They're not paying us, but I'm going to go check those out because I don't know. I feel like Eagles stacks have got to be so popular too, right? Because the Eagles kind of have a way easier path, in my opinion, than the Chiefs and the Bills because they have to play each other.
Yeah. But you can't stack the Eagles because if you stack the Eagles, you have no team.
Round 1, yeah,
you're done. You're really done. Like it's so hard. That's why all the Bills are going so high because they're pretty much a 1 seed, dude. They're a 1 seed going into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my thought process was I took Goddard and then I took Kelsey in two separate, and immediately my next pick had to be another tight end. So I grabbed, I think, Dalton Schultz on my round back around, and then I ended up grabbing I think it was Dalton Schultz in one and then Knox in the other. But even Knox, like he's so touchdown dependent, and he's going in like round 4. But that just shows you how weak tight end is, and if you don't have one of the big ones, you're gonna probably get a 0.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know who's rostering Anthony Brown to cover up those Mahomes lineups, or does Jalen Hurt? Like, we could see some crazy stuff, man. But as a football fan, I obviously wish the starters were playing, but we might get some craziness. Who knows?
Yeah, it's tough. It makes things interesting, especially with it only being 6 teams. It's like it's 6 of you guys, all you guys go at each other. I'm only doing like the small ones, like the $3 ones that are on there, so nothing too crazy. But they got some pretty high payouts on some of those, so it's an exciting time for sure. We got Terrence in the chat. Let's take a look. Travis in here as well. Let's make some money. I'm hoping so today as well. Jay popping in here as well. Ooh, excuse me. Alan in here too. I'm ready for that, Jay. Austin Riley finds his way to my car more than anybody probably should. But now that I'm going to do a best ball league and I'll have fantasy, it's going to make things a little bit more interesting trying to do that, and then obviously not be too biased on some of my bets because I want my year-long guys and best ball guys to do well. Terrence is talking about kind of doing the same process as I think DK. I don't know how Underdog does it, but those guys have the 6 ones. It does make it interesting because you only got to beat 5 guys. You only got to beat 5 other teams. So, yeah, Alan dropping a question early on. Obviously, this is a same game parlay. Rockets, Kings, Kevin Porter Jr., 18.5 points, Sengun over 1.5 assists. I'm assuming this is going to be one of the games we were going to talk about in our initial look through. But before we get to it, I guess, do you have any thoughts on this? I have no idea how Sengun has been doing assist-wise.
Yeah, I mean, Sengun is a pretty good passing big, so I mean, that's kind of baked in. I don't know what his exact hit rate is, but I'd have to imagine it's pretty good right here at this alt line. For me, Kevin Porter Jr., he's been pretty good to me so far this season. It's just real hard for me to kind of decide what goes on in Houston. I feel like I've been betting less and less of their player props recently. It feels like they came out to the year, to a pretty good start, but it feels like I'm having a bit of a harder time, figuring out who's going to go off on any given day. But it's obviously a great matchup. We got a lot of pace in this one, a lot of extra possessions created from a Kings-Rockets game. So if there's no blowout, then I do think this should have a pretty good chance of hitting right here.
Are you as confused by the 9-point spread as I am in that one?
Yeah, that was my first thought. But then you look at the record they've lost 6 straight games, something like that. Like, I guess regression's going to hit. The Rockets are going to look better. It's hard. I wouldn't bet on the Kings as 9-point favorites. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. I mean, I'm probably not going to do that. But I really don't want to trust Houston on the other side of that either. It's a little bit tough to put my, trust into Houston. So it's probably a bit of a no bet for me. But yeah, I see what you mean. It's a little bit bigger than you might expect.
Yeah, I just think that Houston actually doesn't match up terribly. I don't think they match up terribly. Like, this is the team that I think matches up pretty well with them, seeing as like they're rolling really only Sabonis as a big down there, right? You're really only rolling Sengun down there as like an ability to score, right? Obviously Fox, Kevin Porter Jr. You go to the other side, you still have Jalen Green. Like, there's a lot of elite scoring that could be happening in this game, and I really just don't know why I would give 9 points either side, even though I guess you could say, oh, the Kings are at home. But in my opinion, that's only like 2 points, 2.5 points into that line.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you said 2.5 points. I was literally just about to say, if you asked me what to make the spread, I'd probably make it like 6.5. Like, I think 6.5 sounds fair. So 6.5, 7, the jump to 9 isn't that crazy for me considering, how they've been playing. But the other thing you got to realize too, Houston's been playing a lot of good teams recently. Obviously, we saw the Pelicans. We saw Mavs back-to-back. Defending Luka 40 points in back-to-back games is pretty freaking tough. So I do think it's actually a solid point that maybe now that they have a slightly better matchup right here against the Kings team that obviously is not known for their defensive intensity, that I do think Houston does have a pretty good chance. So I see you mentioned over 13 of his last 15. I do like that. I guess the only thing is assists are a little bit it's a little bit scary. One assist to another does have a lot of value, but he did land on 2 assists in a lot of those games. And normally you do like a little bit more wiggle room right there. But I definitely, with all the extra possessions created in this game, I do think Sengun should be the easier leg in that one. It's more just who actually does the scoring.
Yeah, no, assists are tough. Outside of like ball dominant guards, I really don't touch the assists. But yeah, it's kind of tough for a center for me to just kind of be backing assists besides very few like Jokic, obviously.
I do wish they'd run the offense through him a little bit more, though. I mean, Sengun has shown can be a phenomenal passer at times. He's not done it on the consistency as Jokic, hence the nickname Baby Jokic, a little bit. But, I mean, they don't have a true point guard. I don't really think Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, the turnovers to assist ratio is not great, and it's never been great. It's never once been great in his career. So I do wish they'd give him a couple more chances to kind of let him dictate the pace through the post. But I don't know. They're just kind of a mess right now. So.
For sure. No, I agree. I definitely think that Sengun has playmaking ability out there too. So we talked about one game that kind of sits like those games that we like, right? The shitty defense, average offense, but fast pace. That kind of fits that mold of that game. A couple other games I kind of want to talk about. We got the Timberwolves Pistons, which I feel like we got to bet on some Pistons here, man. There is so many dudes out for them. There's got to be some sort of value here that we can find. My God, they have no Duren, no Isaiah Stewart. We bring back Bojan. Obviously, we had to put him on as a thumbnail because obviously he's going to drop 40 tonight. So we got him. Obviously, I think Isaiah Livers is probable tonight too now. So it's a little bit different than last night, but I mean, we talk about how Rudy Gobert has screwed us over so many times. How does he screw this up? Tell me how he screws this up, man, because we just saw Joel Embiid absolutely nuke these guys. And I'm not saying Gobert is anywhere in the same stratosphere as Joel Embiid, but my God, I don't even – dude, you're getting Kevin Knox at power forward, and then you're giving me Nerlens Noel as your starting center, and there's no backup center. Like, Bagley's out too. Like, dude, how does he mess this up? Because he is.
They started someone yesterday that I just never heard of before. Jared Rhoden. Shout out to him. I mean, good for this guy. I'm always amazed when there's a guy I've never heard of playing forward out there. So I can't do it. I mean, I feel like I made the same argument to you in Spaces like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago when I was saying it's literally impossible for him to mess this up. There's just no aggression there on offense, and there's no need, like, the team doesn't seem to want to get him the ball in the post, which I don't know why. I don't know if it's a game planning. I don't know if it's mentality. I don't know if it's selfishness. I have no clue what it is, but there's no, necessity or no priority to get him going in the paint, which makes no sense because, like you said, it's Nerlens Noel and then nobody after that. So, I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I really don't. Maybe rebounds. He does that every game. I mean, to a certain extent. Maybe blocks, I could see going there too. But points, that's probably where you lose me. Because remember, we were on opposite sides of this. I was saying the same thing last time, and then he just dropped an absolute goose egg that game. So just a pass.
Yeah, no, I felt pretty proud about that one when I said he was going to suck, but like, I didn't truly believe it was going to happen. I was just going off of my prior betting experiences with Rudy Gobert. The man just finds a way to take my money and burn it. So that's a great game. I'm going to probably have to have you talk about my Bucks. We have no Trae Young in that one. That was a 1-point spread until the Trae Young news. Heading to Atlanta, obviously no Middleton there either. Again, Drew Holiday kind of getting his feet back under him here. This will kind of lead us into your first play here. But do you think 4.5 is enough in this spot for a home underdog?
Man, we're on the same page. I was just about to ask you that. I don't know. I kind of like the Bucks in this one. I mean, without Trae Young, I'm thinking more 6. That's more closer to the number I was thinking. That's really funny though. We've been on the same page so far. Yeah, I just think it's a stylistic thing, right? What do the Bucks do the best. They absolutely lock down the paint, right? I mean, they have that insane defensive combo of Brook Lopez and Giannis down there. Now we go from a guard who is very good at operating the pick and roll, very good at kind of manipulating those drop defenses in Trae Young, to now a more aggressive guard, DeJounte Murray, who likes finishing at the rim. So obviously the step back, the little mid-range will be there for DeJounte. I think he'll get his 20 points in this one, but I don't know that who's going to go off for the Hawks that lets them win. I know who's going to go off for the Bucks. He's this huge guy. I'm sure everyone's heard of him before. Who's going off for the Hawks in this one? Are we going to have to get a bench performance from the other Bogdanovich? Like, I don't know. I don't see a clear path to victory for the Hawks right here.
My initial thought, just from my DFS thinking, right, is who's the cheap guy who's going to go off, right? And in my opinion, my thought process here is I have to look at AJ Griffin here on just threes. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I could bet on the Hawks side. There's nothing else. Maybe Bogdanovich points. That's the only other thing I could think of, because those guys actually have a pretty high usage rate without Trae Young on the floor this year. Mm-hmm. And there's no one fighting for those bench shots like Bogdanovich either. So still no Clint Capella. I think Giannis absolutely nukes these dudes. I really don't know how they're going to slow them down. I really don't. Like, they're already bottom 5 in points per game in the paint. And now you're going to bring the number one of the top 3 point per games in the paint guys, the number 1 overall points in the paint guy. Oh my God, dude. I just don't know how this matches up well too. God, it's going to be gross.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's got to be Bogdanovich or Griffin, like you said, that kind of get that outside help. Because, DeJounte's mid-range game is very good, but in the modern NBA, it's really hard to trade 2s for 3s, right? That's not, especially with the Bucks, who are just going to send Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, and Joe Ingles to just chuck 3s all game outside of Giannis, scoring his own 40 points. So it's an interesting spot. I definitely agree with your assessment there. And I think Griffin, if he's at a good price, 2 3s, something like that, we could get, it's probably going to be 2.5, I'd imagine. But if we get a good price there, then I think that could be solid, because Hunter probably going to have to deal with Giannis off coverage all game.
For sure. And I just wanted to get this news out for the 20 or 28 people in here live right now. Shamit, Ayton, Chris Paul, all out tonight. My God, people are going to have to be betting on Dwayne Washington. Don't do it, dude. God damn, dude. He's one of the most inefficient shooters I've ever seen in my life, dude. So bad. Like, he was trying to hit step back pullbacks on like 3 straight possessions. One of them, like, hit like the side of the back, like the side part of the glass, dude. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, come on, give somebody else a chance. Like, at least let Damian Lee, at least let him try to cook too. Like,
the problem those. No one can create their own shot on that team. I mean, literally nobody can create their own shot on the team except him. Like you said, it's not going to be efficient, but you also can't really pass that well either. And I mean, what's Damian Lee's not making people miss. He's standing over in the corner and saying, I'm over here, pass me the ball. So that's just an ugly team. I've been staying away from them, and I'm going to continue to do that today.
Yeah, your starting point guard, your backup point guard, starting shooting guard, backup shooting guard, and your starting center all out. That's tough. But speaking of the Bucks, let's get to your first play of the day here. Love to see that you're back at some of my boys here.
Oh, yeah. We've got a nice same-game parlay right here over on DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to Brook Lopez to record 2 blocks, and then Grayson Allen to record 1-3. Obviously, Grayson Allen is the much easier leg in this one, coming in with 1-3 and 25 of his last 28 games so far. Allen's just very consistent. He's going to play 30 minutes in a close game. That's a simple one. Brook Lopez is obviously a little bit of the harder leg right here. I expected 2 blocks to be his regular number, but with the DeJounte Murray move, it actually moved up to 2.5 blocks, which maybe shouldn't be too surprising given the matchup right here. I mean, Lopez, obviously right now, I believe he's still the odds-on favorite for Defensive Player of the Year right now. I mean, he's having an absolutely incredible season so far, especially at his age, what he's doing at his age right now. And you saw even in the especially in the post-game conference after last game, they were asking Giannis and Drew, and they both agreed that Brook Lopez is the Defensive Player of the Year right now. He's playing a huge part in what he's doing. So when we want to look at the stats right here, the Atlanta I almost said the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Hawks have allowed the 5th most blocks per game so far this season. That's overall. That's with Capella in the lineup. Now, when we look at the last 10 games, Capella obviously has been missing. They're now number 2. So they were already a phenomenal matchup with Capella for opposing blocks. But now with Okongwu in there at center, they're an even better matchup, probably due to the fact that Okongwu is a very limited interior scorer, and he's also undersized. I believe he's only 6'11" or something like that, maybe 6'10". So I think Lopez will do what he always does. He dominates the paint. He doesn't switch out. He's not leaving. He's playing that heavy drop. And guess what? Now we have a guard, like I said earlier, DeJounte Murray, who's going to attack the paint. That is his calling card. That is what he's known for. That is what he's done. That's where he's had his most success, right? He's going to go after the paint right here. So I actually attacked DeJounte Murray a lot on blocks with opposing centers last season when he was on the Spurs. And I just think it's a good spot to continue to do that right here. Like we were talking about earlier, I'm having a lot of trouble kind of deciding who's going to be the guy that steps up. And when people are struggling, right? If Griffin's not hitting those shots, if Bogdanovic, who I like, but man, he's so 50-50. He's either scoring 28 points tonight or 12 on 14 shots. He's one of those guys. If he's having one of those bad games, I think DeJounte is going to take it into his own hands. He's going to attack. He's going to try to get to the free throw line, and he's going to be in the paint all night long. And I just think this sets up as a perfect matchup for Brook Lopez, who is, I believe, still first in the league in blocks. He just got passed by Claxton for blocks per game, but I mean, he's played less games, which is kind of funny. Brook Lopez, 34, playing more games out here. So having a great season, now gets a team that's allowing the 2nd most blocks per game over the last 10. I just think this is a great spot for Brook to keep it going. And like I said, Allen, 25 of his last 28, very consistent, will play 30 minutes in a close game, very much like this parlay right here.
I love it. And I'm going to be kind of talking about the exact same thing that you were talking about there with DeJounte Murray. I'm going to his rebounds assist line, plus 100 on DraftKings. Everybody and their mom knows exactly what the Bucks do defensively and shutting down the paint. Obviously, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, they're tough. They're tough guys to shoot over, and that's going to be really the issue here. One thing I didn't really realize was just how big the Clint Capella injury has been for these guys. DeJounte Murray right now is averaging 10 rebound chances per game. Obviously, a lot of that has been boosted over this injury for Clint Capella. Looking at DeJounte Murray this season, he's played 3 games without Trey, and he has a 32.3% usage rate this year. And I really like that he's getting actual more run, right? 36 minutes in the 3 games without him, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. I think that rebounds line is going to go way higher in this one. I expect threes everywhere. Bucks shoot threes. If Giannis isn't at the rim, it's going to be a 3. That's really what the Bucks do. That's how they've been effective, and that's why Giannis can score that many points in the paint, because you can't really double, and if you double, you're getting a 3 hit on you. That's really what they're made to do. So I think we're going to see a lot of driving kicks after the first 2 possessions when they get swatted into the second row. They're going to probably learn, hey, let's kick it, right? Let's kick it out. Let's do what we're better at, right? Bogdanovic on the outside. AJ Griffin has shown his ability to score at this level. Even which I don't even know which Holiday it was hitting threes in one of the games I saw without Trae Young here too. So obviously we've seen DeAndre Hunter out there too recently starting to hit some threes as well. So I think it's going to come down to, can they hit the outside shots? But I do think that the rebound line here definitely could go up higher with the amount of shots from the outside and long rebounds.
Yeah, no, I like this spot. I mean, DeJounte is really one of the few guards you can kind of trust in this arena to actually get the job done. And you pretty much said, I mean, 3 words: drive and kick. Like, that's exactly what we're going to see tonight. Obviously, DeJounte's a great driver. He's great at getting down there, great crafty finisher. But at the end of the day, when you see those 2 7-footers down there with those long arms, you're going to want to get the ball out of there. And like you said, he has 3 dependable options. Griffin, who's very much surprised me. I mean, he's only like 19 or 18 years old, something like that. And coming out and shooting at this level, it's very impressive so far. So I like this spot. Obviously, DeJounte's getting a lot of attention today, but that's for good reason.
Exactly. And I mean, I would never. I would I have thought I was going to be betting DeJounte Murray at the start of the day. Now it's an illness for Trae Young here, so it's just like such a random thing to be happening at like 10 a.m. for you to actually get that news early. Usually we're the ones waiting late till about 5:30 my time, 30 minutes till tip, and then they tell us. So I'm happy at least the Hawks tell you. Obviously, I know DeRozan was just told he was doubtful too, which is nice that they're finally giving us info early. Even the Heat, just cut everybody yesterday, but at least they cut them early,
Yeah, well, hey, the Heat, I mean, they're tired of getting fined for lying. So, I mean, sometimes you got to actually be a little bit honest. Although DraftKings then did not follow up and then posted their player prop lines about 4 minutes before the game started. So, shout out DraftKings for that.
Yeah, no, I saw, who was it? Jared Allen last night come out after like 7 minutes. And guys, I know, I don't know if it's a hot take or whatever, but hey, we're not getting refunds, bro. You ain't getting refunds on, dude. If he played, like he tried, like yes, it sucks that he didn't like say, oh, I'm going through shoot around like questionable or something. So you have that in the back of your mind, but man, he played like almost a full first quarter and then came out. So obviously it sucks, especially if I was betting him, I'd be pissed, but. I mean, come on. We can't be asking refunds on those.
I think there's just so many new people. And I think that's what, like, we've been doing this for 3 years, 4 years. We've been screwed so many times by stupid shit. When we first started, we also got on Twitter. We're like, this is unfair. Fuck, I'm so mad. And now you don't see that stuff. It's from people that have respect in this community. You don't see that. You don't see those people going on Twitter and cry. Like, I saw people. Sorry, this is really funny to me. If I bet on him, it would be less funny to me. But I saw people calling for an investigation by the NBA into that. Guys, people have been getting sick. This is such a common thing in sports. You tell coach, I'm going to try to make it out there. I'm not feeling great. We'll see how it is. He goes out there. He gives it a try. Nope, not feeling good. Hit the bench. That's what we do. We bet on this stuff all the time. It's happened for decades. So I don't know. The investigation part really got me. I thought that was really funny. But, we'll see what happens. Maybe they do investigate it. Maybe Bezos gave him a call. Who knows what happened, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, there is a lot of new people. So if you guys are new to the sports based stuff, remember, if you have any questions, let us know. Obviously, we don't mean to make too much fun from your pain or your bankroll losing there, but yeah, I've been seeing way too many people ask for it. So I just had to get that off my chest now because, I mean, when you're as long into it as we are, you just kind of just let it roll off. They come back too, though. Like there's always stuff that goes our way that we didn't expect, and then obviously it comes right back with this one. So speaking of DeRozan and the Chicago Bulls, I see your second play is going to be over there, so I'll let you take that one here.
Yep, I'm going to pretty popular in this one. I'm going to Nikola Vucevic over 19.5 points, -114. Playing this one for half a unit. I played it for half a unit because I kind of want to double up on maybe a first quarter or maybe a little parlay where I bring it down to like 16, something like that. So I am going to start with the half unit, though, on just the 19.5 points. And I've come on the show, I believe, 2 or 3 times now this season and said when DeMar DeRozan plays the Wizards, I'm betting on him. Like, he crushes us. The way his mid-range kind of works against our system, the way he can get to the free throw line, it's pretty much been an automatic bet for me, and it worked both times so far this season. So obviously, now that we've seen that he is very unlikely to play, he did not go through shoot around, he's doubtful on the injury report. I really don't think DeRozan's going to be out there. I think this opens up great opportunity for Vucevic. We've seen this time and time again. Any center with any sort of semblance for a shooting touch, any guy that can make a bucket not directly under the rim, right? Any kind of viable scoring center absolutely demolishes the Wizards. I haven't seen a team worse dealing with these skilled centers. I think that's a good way to describe them before. I mean, we saw Joe Val just do it. We've seen Embiid. We've seen Aiden. Any guy that can just have that mid-range touch, that can just score, because Porzingis is a good, at the rim defender, right? But they're leaving him one-on-one on these islands all the time. Now we have Gafford out there, although Gafford does have an ankle injury, so he might just keep playing 20 minutes a game and then exiting with an ankle injury, which he's done like 5 straight games, by the way. So if you play DFS or you doing, DraftKings, don't bet Gafford. I got fucked on this last game. I thought he was good. All the reports were he's looking good. He's left like 4 straight games with an ankle injury. So just throw Gafford to the side. He might play, who knows? But Washington's getting absolutely destroyed by centers. We've seen Vucevic have success hitting this in both of his games so far this season against us. And hey, guess what? That was with DeMar DeRozan dropping like 30 points in both of those games. So I think Zach LaVine has a much tougher matchup on the outside. He's going to see pretty much 40 minutes of a combination of Denny, Delon, and I don't know who in the starting lineup. A little Kispert to start out. That's probably a pretty good matchup right there. But he's going to spend most of his time being guarded by Denny Actually, I think Denny will start today. I'd imagine if Gafford doesn't start. So I think Levine will see a lot of attention on the outside. Washington has been great at limiting opposing three-point frequency. We've been top 5 in that all season long. We love pushing guys off the three-point line, and we're just getting crushed by these skilled centers. I mean, Vucevic already had that success. Now, pretty much take away 15 to 20 shots a game with DeRozan. I think he's going to have a huge game right here. So we can't do anything to stop him. I'm going to have to sit and watch it later tonight, but I do like the big man to have a good one.
Yeah, it just sucks. I love betting on Gafford DFS wise because he's so good points per minute, dude. Like so active, blocks so many shots. But yeah, I feel you. He did burn me last time. I had a pretty good cash. You get those extra 3 or 4 minutes, and it changes things, So I obviously agree there. And I like that you're talking about these skilled centers. I don't even know what I call Randall at this point, but is he a power forward? He's a center. Mitchell Robinson's in foul trouble 90% of the game, so he plays center minutes. But tonight, I actually really, really, really like this matchup. We got the Pacers on tap. Nice 4.5-point spread. I have to go back to Randall. I bet him last game. I bet him the game before. And you can't get away from this dude. This guy, the Tibbs volume in minutes, the volume of shots, the usage rate, like everything. I looked at his usage rate today, and it's only 28%. If you watch his game, I have a feeling it's like 50, dude. Like if you just watch a Knicks game, you think, dude, Julius Randle has a 50% usage. When I saw 28, I was baffled. I was absolutely baffled. Obviously, gets a nice little tick up over 30% with RJ Barrett out, so that's obviously an important factor here. But my God, I don't know if anybody watched their last game. This dude was 0 for 10 from 3 and still shot, and he made one. And I was just like, dude, at what point do you just stop shooting? And then I look, dude was 9 for 29 from the field this month in 4 games, averaging 40 minutes per game, 24 shot attempts. But my favorite part about all of it is right now he's averaging 9.8 free throws over his last 4 games. You face off against the Indiana Pacers, who actually rank 6th worst in terms of free throws allowed per game. 25? I would not be surprised if Julius Randle's over half of those because this dude literally is just driving and getting fouled at the line all the time here. Again, we always think about who is going to be matching up with this guy. You can't have Miles Turner because they're going to start Robinson out there, at least for his 6 or 7 minute stint. Who are you putting on him? They don't start Jalen Smith with them. You can't put him there. I truly am going to be curious on how they're going to match up with him because Randle is literally going to drive into the middle of your chest. And if you don't do any, if you double him, he kicks it, he gets the assist. He's been grabbing rebounds like crazy, 16 boards in 2 of his last 3, over 11 in all 4 games here. If you looked at his points prop, he actually missed his points prop in 3 games of these 4, and he still hit his PRA in 3 out of 4 because he's grabbing that many rebounds. That is really where we're starting to see that growth. And obviously without Barrett, he is playing full-on Thibodeau nurse minutes, and I absolutely love to see it. I truly don't know how I can get away from Randle until we get to see Barrett back in the lineup. I have to continue to bet his over. And even if Barrett comes back today, like I know it was a questionable tag, I'd be surprised to see him play half of what the normal minutes are for his rotation. So love Randle, love the matchup. I wish this is the guy right here that you should be betting those free throw props that Stu talks about all the time. This is the game. This is the exact matchup you're asking for. Team that fouls a lot against a guy who literally does, if he's not shooting a 3, if he dribbles once, he is going to get fouled or he's going to dunk it on your head. Those are your 2 options. So absolutely love the spot. 43.5 on DK. It's looking like Turbo's found it on FanDuel. Thank you for that. But my God, man, my God, it was bad, man. It was truly bad. Dude, who was that last game? Was it against the Bucks? Yeah, it was. I remember, I think I said it on stream. I said, if you can take over 10.5 3-point attempts, do it. I'm pretty sure I said that on stream. And he shot 10 in the first half and made none. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. If we only had a prop for that, dude, it would be Randle every single game. I would bet it. So absolutely love Randle tonight. I love the matchup. I don't know how I get away from him.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too, where, like, obviously my first reaction was, like, why throw an assist? You know, like, why even throw an assist at this point? Randle just decided he doesn't do that anymore. But then I checked, his assist line is only 3.5 right now. And I was thinking it's been 5.5, even 6.5 at times. So now to see it drop back down to 3.5, then suddenly I'm kind of back in on it because that's a very, very reasonable number. I mean, obviously I think he's going to continue to shoot like 20 plus times, but I do like to see that that's fallen so low that now I think it actually even presents some value because he's still been going over that a decent amount of time. We've seen him land on 3 a couple times, but yeah, the shot volume is insane. And even like you said, if Barrett does come back, what does that change Randall's minutes from? Like 40 to 37? Like this is Tibbs we're talking about. He doesn't care. He's still throwing him out there all the time. So I love the spot. The volume is just so hard to pass up on right now.
He has, I think Barrett's been out 7 games. I think it's been 7. And just over his last 8 games, he has had over 18 shot attempts in every single one but one game. And that one was a blowout. And he still played 35 minutes in a blowout. Dude, Tibbs minutes are so valuable in the prop community, man. Same thing I bet on Siakam on an article yesterday. And it's just like, I'm like, when I look at my phone or, like how it tells you who's on the floor, I'm like baffled when I don't see Siakam on the floor. Like, and then I look like a minute later, oh, there he goes. He's back. So it's such a nice feeling because there's like games like, when we just talking about Indiana, like Miles Turner, like he'll only play 30 minutes. Like he could be fantastic in those minutes, but you're getting 8 or 9 more minutes of a 1.4 fantasy point per minute guy in Randall. Like those minutes are so valuable, and especially down the stretch too. And I don't know how I would take Miles Turner fouls over 4.5 today if I could find it, dude. If they had any of these like crazy lines, like I know Garth was on here talking about the first time out or whatever. Like if they had some of these crazy lines, I would probably bet on fouls. I would bet on 3-point attempts. I would bet on so many different things because Randall does the same move and you still can't stop it because the dude is just so big.
Yeah, and I think he'll get that physical mismatch right here. I mean, too, like you said, with Turner having to deal with Robinson in the paint down there, and even Hartenstein when he comes off the bench as well. So I agree. I think it's a good spot, and I think that should be a good game, too. I mean, obviously, I don't know if you remember the Halliburton drama. We've seen that all over Twitter, people kind of using that narrative as a reason with the Knicks, the post game.
Zerbiak?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. I hope he goes after him, dude. I hope Tyrese just drops a 40-point double-double, dude, and just shoves it in his face because that was so unwarranted. Like it was like he didn't even say anything to him. Like that's why I was so confused. Like, what the hell?
I like it. Let's get more drama. Let's spice things up. We need more rivalries. We need more reasons for guys to play hard. I mean, it's kind of crazy that these are professional athletes and we have to worry about them playing hard, but that's kind of the current NBA right now. So give me all these post-game announcers talking shit. I'll take it. That was very funny. Obviously, a little bit unnecessary for sure, but Halliburton, he should be in a pretty good spot as well.
All right, before we move on, I just have to get your opinion on this. Who for you is guarding Julius Randle tonight? I would be very surprised if they don't have a power forward.
That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier.
They don't have one.
What?
They actually legitimately don't start one.
Well, they sent Jackson down to the G League.
Yeah. But so he wasn't starting. He never started.
Yeah. So who's playing him at the 4 right now for
him? They truly don't have a 4. Maybe Naismith.
But that's what I was gonna say. But he's so small. He's like 6'6". Right?
He's a small forward.
Yeah.
You have a small forward there. You have 2 shooting guards in Hield and Nembhard, who have started at least back-to-back games, and Tyrese, and then Turner. Like, who guards him?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's gonna have to be a team effort. It's gonna have to be a team effort. But that's a good question right there. I would have to assume. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to see some Turner possessions. I think they'll probably leave Mitchell, but then the pick and roll will obviously kind of cook them a little bit right there.
If you have him guard Randall Turner, I'd send Randall to the corner. Mitchell Robinson runs a pick and roll with Brunson, one of the top pick and roll offensive players. It's a dunk every single play until they realize, oh, I can't do this. So. I think Jalen Smith is still on the team.
Yeah, but he's playing like 10 minutes a game. That was going to be my first thought. But Jalen Smith's playing and even I'd want him to play against Jalen Smith. Give me that matchup against Jalen Smith. I mean, this guy, he's like built real skinny. He's not really scaring anybody down there either. So
he uses all 5 fouls. He's aggressive. He uses all 5. Dude, like his last game, I think he had he had 4 fouls in 12 minutes.
Yeah,
that's more impressive than Randall's streak right now, just how fast he's falling out. Shout out to Ivica Zubac, too, for fucking me over yesterday. The man had 3 fouls in 4 minutes. And he ended up having 8 I had points, rebounds over 20. He had 8 in the first 3 minutes or 4 minutes and 3 fouls. I'm like, dude, he was doing so well. And I'm like, oh my God, now I have to watch 76-year-old Robert Covington play basketball. It was gross.
Yeah.
But he's off the bench. He's been, and if they do start him, he's probably out in 3 or 4 minutes.
But once again, like I think Jalen Smith, like that was kind of my first thought, but he's not even a natural 4. He played the 5 in college, right? I mean, he was a center, and they've kind of
and you ain't moving with Randall. If you're a center, you're not moving with Randall.
Exactly, and he's not physical enough either. If he was a little softer, but I don't know. I don't see a great. It's a great matchup no matter who really you point at. So. I think Smith will give him some looks. I think Turner will. But like you said, they're just going to sit him in the corner. And if Turner's not going to go out there, they'll abuse the paint. It's a good matchup, man. It's a real good matchup.
Yeah, I just love that he's just shooting 11 threes a game. I just think that's so funny that a big 6'8" dude is just – you could just roll over everybody, but he just decides I'm going to shoot 11 threes a game. I love it. All righty. Let's go through a quick recap. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll get to them shortly. But 33 of you guys still in here. We appreciate you. If you could hit the like button, we'd really appreciate it. And let's get to yours, Stu.
Sounds good. We start out with Brooke Lopez, 2+ blocks, and then Grayson Allen, 1-3, -110, DraftKings same game parlay. Then we went over to Nikola Vucevic, over 19.5 points, -114 for half unit.
Yeah, I will be rolling DeJounte Murray over 14.5 rebounds, assists at +100. Randall over 43.5 points, rebounds, assists at -115. I did see Terrence. He's talking about it. He wants that long shot. Stu, have you been looking at any? Is there anything that kind of caught your eye today? Spots that you might be thinking about tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think generally we kind of covered this a little bit earlier. I think a guy like Bogdanovic, like 30 points or like 5 threes, something like that is what I'd really be looking at. I think the Bucks, like even the Heat, are kind of these teams that do produce these spike games from outside shooters despite having good defenses. So I think Bogdanovic is where I might look at one point. There's some big spreads though, like Spurs Grizzlies is down there, Suns Nuggets. You kind of gotta push some of those off right now. So it's a little bit tougher, especially we don't know if Porzingis is even playing for Washington right now. So that would probably be my best look right there. Maybe AJ Griffin ladder threes as well. I think that's another good look. And then maybe one of these Pistons guys, if we can get them. Maybe
I already got mine. I got mine. That's why the man's on the thumbnail.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
There you go. Floor is yours.
Yeah. Let me type one up. What did you want typed up? You gave me like 19 plays. I need just one.
Okay, you guys are putting me on. Terrence is putting me on the spot right here. I'm doing my best, okay? But I got to see if they even have a Bogdanovic lineup right now. I'm not sure.
For Bogdan?
Yeah, I'm checking right now.
I know they adjusted Okongwu's rebounds and stuff, so I think the props are out over there. I haven't checked.
Bogdanovic, 25+ points is +340. We'll go with that as my long shot. 30 is a little bit of a stretch. Let's not get greedy.
What is it? What's the line?
+340.
Anyone know mine? Mine would be the other Bogdanovic.
I like it.
And I'm going to go 30 points at +320.
That's greedy right there, okay?
Well, I mean, his normal line is 22.5.
That's fair. They literally have no other offensive players on their team. So, I mean, Sadiq Bey, maybe. I don't know. He sucks, though. So,
yeah. So, for him to get up, what do you think his line is for 25 points?
It's probably what, I guess, 185
+115.
Okay. Well,
so clearly, mine is gonna be. I'm gonna have to actually type out first names, which sucks. So, mine right here is gonna be Bojan Bogdanovic, 30 points. I have mentioned every time the Timberwolves play, and anytime I fade the Timberwolves, they're the worst in every single 3-point category. They're terrible in field goals allowed. Guess what? The best defensive player for them is sitting in the paint. And guess where Bogdanovic ain't going? He ain't going in the paint. He's going to be shooting that mid-range. He's got a great 3-point shot. I I might touch his threes. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but we could still have a game here without Anthony Edwards. He's still questionable. Like if he's out, this is a pick 'em. This game is straight pick 'em. It's a 6.5 point spread right now, but how many minutes are you going to see this guy sit? He only missed 2 games, right? It's not like he missed an extended week or anything like that. He missed 2 games with soreness, right? So older guy, you give him a couple extra rest days, but I expect 35 minutes from Bogdanovic in this one. And I expect at least 20-something shots here, at least. No Cade, right? We still got no Stewart, no Duran, no pretty much anybody, right? So I think we're going to be getting a ton of action here from him. And then 25 on other Bogdanovic at plus 340 there.
I like it. I like both of our guys right here. And if Edwards doesn't play, then I really like your spot. I mean, then that's just going to be a shit show. That's the big screen game tonight. Even the Wizards can go on the laptop. To just watch those 2 squads without any of their good players, except really Bogdanovic, kind of squared off, that would be fun.
And I'm sure that Rudy Gobert would still have less than 10 points.
Oh, yeah. He'd put up a nice 10 for 17 in that game with 2 assists and 2 blocks. Classic Rudy line.
So I accidentally, like when I went to go get my water, I don't know how this got touched. My Siri on my Apple Watch started talking to me, and I was talking shit on Rudy Gobert, and she's like, Rudy Gobert has scored 490 points in the regular season. I'm like, that's awful, bro. They played like 35 games, dude. That's awful.
Siri's got some supporting evidence for you right there.
Siri's going for the fucking jugular, dude. This is all you. First quarter.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bet I could ever make, especially at minus 120. I mean, it's a phenomenal matchup. Don't get me wrong. You said he's hit in both times, but 4 rebounds for a guy, he's once again a great per minute producer. He might play 6 minutes in the first quarter. I mean, 8 is a good outcome. 8 is your happy outcome. Steven Adams is not playing heavy first quarter minutes, at least from what I was looking at it a little bit earlier in the season. So such a high number. That's like not even Embiid. I don't know who's like the best, or that's like an elite number. That's like a very high number right here. So with the minutes, if he's playing 12 minutes, then yeah, give me that. But only playing 6 to 8 minutes is very scary for me, despite the good matchup, especially minus 125. I think that would be maybe closer to plus 100 or something like that. So obviously definitely could hit out there. Great matchup. He should, great per minute producer, but that's a real high number for me.
And a 14-point spread. He's the first guy that comes off the floor in a blowout, right? For sure. And I mean, even if they're up like 12 in the first quarter, do we just get, all right, I'm going to guess that this is
minutes.
Minutes. I was going to say, if that was rebounds, I was like, no, yeah. I don't know. But also, I mean, you just saw Xavier Tillman go crazy in his opportunity that he got when Steven Adams was out, right? He played very, very well. Maybe you start seeing more minutes go to him, right? I mean, Steven Adams is old, man.
He is old. But Xavier Tillman, Michigan State guy, shout out to him. I bet on him like 2 years ago when he was playing garbage time minutes, but he's not getting out there. Yeah, I 7 to 8 minutes seems like a fair interpretation, but like I said, four rebounds is just a very like that. I mean, I associate that number with the best rebounders in the game, and like you said, this is a guy that I don't know. I don't really fully have that trust in him to be at that level and at that consistency. And like I said, you guys know this. My number one thing, the reason I bet SGA and Luka so often is because those guys are playing 12 minutes. They're leaving it all on the floor. They're going to have that extended rest, and they're going to play every single minute of that first quarter. Adams does not have any security. It just worries me a little bit. So it could be a very good spot, but it fires off some historical red flags for me.
Sounds good. Well, we went through our recap. We got you our long shots. Stu, what do you got for the people before we head out today? We're a little bit under an hour, exactly where we want to be.
Yeah, no, I thought this might be a quicker one, but hey, the slate turned out pretty good right here. So I'm excited, man. I'll have some more NBA props over the course of the day. Obviously, as we get some Wizards lines out, as we get some of these maybe garbage time, or I don't want to call, I don't want the scrub squads. When we get the scrub squads, I like betting on those guys. Okay, who doesn't? But I'll have some more props out over the course of the day. And obviously NFL is coming up very fast. Props are now out. I will probably have a prop tonight. Probably not an article form, probably a quick little video or maybe some kind of tweet or something like that. But there's some props being posted, and I want to get in on those early lines. So make sure to follow on Twitter. Obviously, check us out over on Pickett Sports as well. Code PTP gets you between $3 and $100 when you sign up. Completely free app. I don't know if you guys seen on my Twitter post. I've been posting their odds comparison. It's very nice. You get to see what each number is on every book, so you're not a sucker, right? No one likes to bet, CMC to have 80 yards and you see it's 71 on DraftKings. Then you feel bad. Pickett kind of eliminates that kind of stuff. So check us out over there. I'll be posting some prize picks. You know me, I already have some first half prize picks. I don't know if you saw that. I bet the CMC and Josh Allen. So just tons of fun stuff. I'm super pumped for these playoffs. And yeah, let's keep it going.
Yep, we'll be back Friday with some plays there. May need to talk to you about the timing of it. If we have to move it up or a little bit behind a little bit there, just because I think I do have something at that exact time. So I might have to move it up a little bit, but we will have a special guest. We'll get you guys all taken care of there. I'm super pumped for that one. So tune in. Make sure you guys check us out on Friday. And we'll have some more picks for you and some NFL action for the weekend. So have a good one, guys, and we'll see you on Friday.